From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, November 22nd, 2021. We'll start with temperatures here. Generally near average, a little colder as you head off to the east, a little warmer as you head toward the west. We are finally starting to establish some really cold air off to our north, though, as we head through the next 5 to 10 days, we're generally going to be protected from that as much of the cold air spills in across the east down into the central and eastern United States. Take a look at the satellite picture here. We've just seen big low after big low. Got another one here spinning up across, far eastern Canada, a little bit south of the Hudson Bay, lifting over the northeast U.S. A big cold front extending back toward the Gulf of Mexico. See the cold air spilling in across the central U.S. here on the heels of that. Much colder here across the Great Lakes. Another little system here making its way across British Columbia, coming up and over the top of a ridge over the western U.S. That's going to bring some flurries to parts of the prairie here over the next 24 to 48 hours, a little bit more in the way of accumulating snow well off to the north of Highway 16. Now we'll start with the radar. Some patchy flurries as we get started here Monday morning off toward Grand Prairie, north of Highway 16 into central Saskatchewan. Maybe some snowflakes falling here in the Winnipeg area, and then also maybe some snowflakes as you make your way into southern Alberta. Here, Cardston off to the east of there, getting over toward Lethbridge, maybe some snow flurries as we head through the day today. Maybe some minor accumulations here, just a light coating, maybe a couple of centimeters here, but anything in the way of accumulating snow over the next couple of days here, I think will be north of Highway 16 for the most part. Now we'll look at the NAM model, the precipitation type forecast. I'll go ahead and pause it, bring it back here. Here's the low that's coming out over the next 48 hours. We'll see some of that snow spreading north of Highway 16 through the day today. If we're going to see any minor accumulations across southern Alberta, southern Saskatchewan, I think that's going to happen on Tuesday, maybe into Tuesday night, as this low finally makes its way over the ridge and starts to dive down into the Great Lakes, continuing this pattern that we've seen. We get a little bit of a lull here on Wednesday before the next low makes its way in, bringing its light flurries, maybe some minor accumulating snow. So really, as we look at total accumulated precipitation by type, Monday through midday Thursday, see in the bottom left the snowfall forecast there. Much of the accumulating snow north of Highway 16, but as you make your way down into southern Alberta, southern Saskatchewan, even portions of southern Manitoba, you can't rule out a light coating here. Maybe you get a heavier burst of snow with some of these flurries here, but generally the accumulating snow going to be off to the north. Only minor accumulations, a trace to a few centimeters south of that. Now we'll compare the NAM on the left, the European model on the right. You see pretty good agreement there. The accumulating snow, the bigger corridor of that, well off to the northern portions of the prairie provinces. But as you make your way down to the south, again, a few centimeters here, a light coating can't be ruled out here, especially Tuesday into Wednesday. Now, as we look at the next 10 days, we dump a lot more snow across the north, but we keep it on the light side as you make your way south of Highway 16. Really a tale of, two provinces there, or six or three, whatever you want to call it. I'm just trying to say break the provinces in half. The northern half, you're going to get dumped on here with multiple chances for snow. Much of you who are watching this video and carrying across the primary prairie region south of Highway 16, we're talking about multiple opportunities to see snowflakes flying. Little in the way of substantial accumulation, though, is going to be the theme over the next 5 to 10 days. Now, these amounts, we're looking at a 10-day specific snowfall forecast. It's not going to work out just like this. We're not that good, or at least not perfect, at predicting snowfall forecasts here with the computer models, but the theme is clear. Multiple chances for accumulating snow north of Highway 16, multiple chances for light flurries south of Highway 16. Now, as we look at the 10-day forecast, precipitation anomaly forecast, we're going to keep the same pattern going. Very strong jet stream flow going to be blasting British Columbia. We'll keep heavy coastal precipitation and mountain snows in the forecast there through the next 10 days. But then again, with this pattern of building ridge across the western U.S., southwest Canada, we're going to be talking about getting rain shadowed or snow shadowed across the primary prairie region, with much of the actual accumulating snow making its way north of Highway 16. So here's the pattern. 500 millibar height pattern as we get started on Monday. Big ridge building off to the south. Here's the system that's making its way through, bringing the flurries over the next 48 hours. We see that sneak through, getting out of here by Wednesday into Thursday. That's going to allow a ridge to start building in across the Pacific Northwest, southern British Columbia again as we get into the end of the week. Now look at this strong trough over Alaska, the Gulf of Alaska, building ridge across the Pacific Northwest. Sandwiched between that, you see the tightly packed lines. It's going to be very strong jet stream flow. That's what's going to continue to blast, British Columbia with Pacific moisture, much of that being wrung out by the mountains. So we end up with heavy coastal rain, high elevation snows, and much of the moisture being wrung out by the time these systems lift into the prairie up over the top of that ridge. Now, we'll continue to drag this out Thursday into Friday. That ridge expected to build as we head into the weekend. That's going to lead to a warming trend across the prairie. You're going to feel that most in the west, Alberta, Calgary, Edmonton, down into southern Alberta. You're going to be feeling quite warmer as we head through the last half of the week. A little cooler, I should say, across the east. That's where we'll still tap into some of that northerly jet stream flow as we head deeper into the week. And then as we get out into days 8, 9, and 10, it does seem to fit that we'll kind of resume an active pattern across the region that's going to be, bringing back more chances for scattered precipitation, maybe something in the way of accumulated snow, but that's out into, 8, 9, 10-day time frame where we have much lower reliability. So we'll focus on what we've got higher confidence in right now, which is that chance for flurries pushing across the region here, especially Tuesday into Wednesday. High pressure on the backside there, going to give us a quiet Thursday into Friday. Another system comes lifting over the top of that ridge as we get into the end of the week. Again, maybe some flurries across the region before we see a substantial warm-up heading into the back half of the week. So we're looking at the Euro on the left, the GFS on the right, the ensemble here, the probability of picking up 3 inches or more of snow between now and Saturday morning. Again, you see the higher probabilities well north across northern Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Not really pinging much in the way of substantial snow here across the prairie over the next 5 to 7 days. Temperatures are going to be warming up. We've got the next 5 days on the left, days 5 to 10 on the right from the European model. Again, a little bit on the mild side in the west, cooler in the east as we get started this week, but that warmer air begins to spread across the entire prairie as we head into the rest of the week. You can see that here in Calgary, a high of 9 today, getting another shot of cooler air for Tuesday and Wednesday. Those highs back near the freezing mark, back into the upper single digits as we finish the week into next week. Edmonton, similar look here, a shot of cold air Tuesday, Wednesday, following this system that brings the snow flurries to the region, heading back into the mid-single digits as we head into the end of the week and the weekend. Saskatoon, very similar look here. Regina, you also feel that shot of cooler air midweek, warming back up as we head into the weekend. And then Winnipeg off to the east, going to be a little bit harder to get that warmer air to work into the region, especially where we have some snow on the ground. So we get that midweek shot of cooler air. We do warm up as we head into the weekend early next week, just not quite as much as we do off to the west. Have a wonderful week.